Good morning, everybody. It's Martin, the sales strategist, coming to you live from the Melbourne Sales Cardio Training Hub today. And today I'm with the beautiful Louisa Hayton from Kick & Co. on a, it's going to be about 35 degrees here today, Lou. You've probably been out riding your horses already this morning. But before we started this morning, Lou said to me, hey, look, Martin, let's just have fun for the next 30 minutes, Everyone is sick to death about talking about marketing. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to talk about fun. But I'd first like to, number one, welcome, Lou. Welcome to this 30-minute event. It's awesome to see your smiling face again.
Amazing to be here.
But marketing. Let's start with a bit of business stuff. Let's just talk about marketing. And we were talking about marketing. Everyone knows the importance of marketing. Everyone's kind of probably up to the gills a little bit of marketing. Talk to me about Kick & Co. This is a super competitive marketplace. What possessed you to establish Kick & Co, Lou?
Okay, so I've worked in agencies for a long time, probably longer than I prefer to admit to. Anyway, look, traditionally agencies and advertising agencies, marketing agencies have been tarred with a pretty bad brush, a little bit like, car salesman and real estate salesman, and with really good reason. And I worked for those agencies. I know how they operate and the mentality behind them. And when I had the opportunity to start my own business, it was because I was driven to make a difference and change how that looked. And after getting close to sort of 10 years, we truly starting to change that, and it starts internally. It starts with your culture and who you employ and what your values are, and then living by those values and getting clear about the clients you want to work with.
Yeah, we were talking about all about culture and fun and all of that good stuff earlier on, and about how a potential supplier can actually add to the value of a business, not only through the services they offer but through the culture they bring. So culture. Talk to me about the culture and how you've gone about establishing, because I know your team and I know the culture at Kick & Co is pretty good. So what's the journey around culture, and why has that been so important in the Kick & Co journey?
It's actually my love is culture, and it's probably I've worked out my superpower. I'm probably much more proficient at creating a beautiful culture in a business than actually being the queen of marketing. Like, I employ a team of incredible individuals that are experts in their own field, whether it be around strategy, creative, etc., etc. But my job as a business leader is understanding the value of culture and what that brings to a business. And I've done a huge amount of work myself as far as personal and professional development to really get clear about what makes a business different, what makes it different for the people who work in it, the type of clients we have, and I suppose creating, operating from a real point of authenticity, and getting very clear about our values. It drives every decision we make. So it's not a one size fits all. It's a bit of a journey. And we have got the most incredible team at the moment, and we are non-negotiable about how we hire, who we hire, and whether they're the right fit for us. We can train skills to a point, but as being a cultural fit for a business and adding to that and adding to the value of what happens internally is the most important thing in any business. I don't care which one it is that you run or that you work in.
Yeah, right. And we were talking earlier, and you're what you called yourself, I believe, as a strategic branding company.
Yes.
So when it comes to branding, how do you portray values? How do you portray culture? How do you portray that in a brand?
Look, with our business, we've just gone through our own rebranding process, and it is a process that you go through, and it is it's not scientific, but it has a real structure to it. So I mean, getting clear about so many different parts of your business is the start of how you are going to communicate and sustain your brand long term. So, I mean, it's the basic stuff. It's really understanding your target market and who they are and doing all the work on that first, but getting really clear about who you want to attract. Like you might be like us, we have very few clients and we're really selective about who we bring on board, but we have to understand how they look and, it's more than just their budget. It's more than just the size of their business. It's like we have to implement a process that identifies if they're a good fit for us or not. So as far as that goes, it's understanding, I suppose, from the ground up, who you are, what your values are, what your essence is of the business. And then from there, you can start creating, like, I suppose, look at how you're going to develop your marketing and your advertising plan and making sure that you're hitting that right target market based on like a whole lot of things. For our business, it's taken us a really long time to ID who we want to work with, because you had to become really clear about who you were from the ground up. So I don't know if that's a bit convoluted, but I mean, as far as a process for, why you would brand your business before you start executing on your advertising strategy.
And I think that's a question that especially a lot of smaller businesses would have, maybe businesses up to, let's say, 2 million, startups, solopreneurs, businesses that have 4 to 5, they'll be thinking, shit, Lou, we just want to do some marketing. We just want to get some leads coming in. Why is branding so important?
Okay, because I suppose creating your brand from the ground up, it identifies who your target market is, what your product offering is. You really understand how to communicate with that target market. So when you've got a pretty small advertising spend, rather than you have to funnel it that big, if you don't know who you are, who your target market is, how they like to be communicated with, what's going to motivate them to actually make that transaction or whatever the state is, you are wasting the very small budget that you've got. So if you just do a little bit of groundwork to start with, what you do is much more effective and there's a lot less waste. So you're going to get a much better return on your investment because you're taking out the guesswork.
I love that analogy. So, what you're basically saying to businesses is that, without a branding strategy, you might be out there with a shotgun, pump action shotgun, firing shots. Whereas with a branding strategy, you've got a sniper's rifle with a scope on it.
Hell yeah. That's exactly it. That is exactly it. And you can, like, through working on that brand strategy, you also identifying, what the barriers are to conversion as well. So you get an opportunity to look at, okay, is our communication correct? Is our process to a sale correct? Whether it's on your website, what might be the blockages to getting people to convert. I mean, it's all about customer experience, but it's also about understanding what technology is out there at the moment and how you can implement that. And even though it might cost you a little bit more money, it's going to generate a whole lot more sales for you. And again, so the branding is not just about, creating a logo and, a bit of a pretty picture around what your business looks like. It is just about messaging. It's understanding the customer journey. It's understanding what helps conversion. It's understanding the messaging that's going to get them to take action. If you get all of that down pat, when you actually spend your money, the magic happens.
That's really powerful, because I would think, and I don't know for sure, but I would think that most businesses that are starting out think branding is all about a logo.
Yeah,
it's a logo.
They think it's about the visual. And look, like, I get that small businesses really struggle with their budget. And to go to brand, having a workshop, identifying that sort of stuff can be like, how's that going to add value? I just don't have the money for that. And so, well, I get it. But if you just go out there and start advertising and don't know why, don't know who to, don't know what motivates them, well, where's your money going to be better spent?
Yeah. And I guess, Lou, so this is all great. I know you work with some pretty large organizations. So this is awesome coming from you to get this for a wide range of businesses. But I guess so. You've got a business, and they're figuring out, okay, so I want to engage a business to help me with my brand, to help me with my strategy.
Yeah.
How do we do that? I mean, there's so much.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I'm just talking from my perspective. I'm not projecting here, but I might be. But when we're talking about marketing, you're talking about SEO. You're talking about all this stuff that I've got no idea about, and I've got no interest in understanding it. And it just seems to be smoke and mirrors a lot of times. So how would we trust what selection criteria would you use to select a marketing company to do your branding and work with if you were in the market for somebody? I guess is a good question to ask.
I actually really love that, to be honest with you, because that is a huge question, and that's a huge barrier to entry for us to get new clients, because people you spend a lot of money with agencies, with marketing businesses, and you trust them with your budget. And if you don't have your own understanding of how all that works, it's like, who in the hell do you trust, and how do you trust them? So I suppose, look, I'll tell you what we do that's different, and this might help people that are looking to, onboard a marketing business. Is most agencies, you have different setups. You can go on a retainer. So that means you pay a certain amount of money a month, like let's just pull a figure out of our head, $20,000, and that agency is employed to do a certain amount of hours for you. So a lot of bigger businesses do that, and the value of doing that is what your budget is every month, and you generally will get a bit of a reduced rate because it benefits your business, it benefits the ad agency or marketing agency's business. The other way is you will just pay for billable hours depending on what a job will take. The thing that we do with regard to that is our clients that are on retainer, we pull out reports directly from our system. We don't edit them, we don't doctor them, we send it through. They can see all the details around where we've put time in. So it's about creating a high level of transparency. So you really have to question the marketing business, like, tell me how you're transparent, tell me how you bill, show me what sort of reports you can provide with us. That's one thing. I suppose the other thing is a lot of agencies, they will mark up third-party supplier costs. So let's just say you need a big print job done. The agency will go out and get a quote. They will not show you the quote from their printers. That might be a $10,000 quote. Most agencies will add 10, 20% on top of them, and that's how they make their cream. And
I didn't know that.
Yes, that's what they do.
Wow.
That's just traditionally how it works, and that makes the the big marketing directors really rich, so they can drive around in their Porsches or whatever the case may be. So what we do with any of our third-party suppliers, we will send those quotes to our clients, and they will see what the raw cost is. And yes, we charge for our time to run the job or do any of that sort of thing, because we're not a charity, but we're really clear about that with the client. They would be paying that anyway, but we don't chuck fat on top of third-party supplier costs. We give our clients direct access to it. So it is just trying to identify how transparent a business is and asking them the questions. How do they bill? How does that look? How are they prepared to present reports to you? Do they put costs on top of third-party suppliers? And I think also being really clear about getting case studies and asking them, like, show me how what you've done in the past has worked for people. So digital marketing is a big area where it is so confusing actually understanding how that works and what the genuine result's going to be. So, I mean, we partner with like other businesses that have amazing sort of, I suppose, aligned values, incredible skill set that we trust that are going to look after our clients like we look after them. So that's a whole different world. I think you have to ask them to show proof.
Yeah, right.
Get really clear about what your return on investment is going to be, and you will get to know, speak to people. Like everyone's got a bullshit meter. You're going to know if they're the right people or not, you know.
No, I
And
think one of your, I think I wrote on the thing, one of your thing is, what is it? We do the marketing without the bullshit. Was that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And so this is what you're talking about. You're just saying, hey, look, let's just get down to business and get results for you guys. And
get results and cut out the crap and the mumbo jumbo and, you know, the smoke and mirrors. It's just, you know, like having a high level of transparency and integrity is my go-to, and it's how we operate in everything that we do. And, you know, a lot of people would talk about transparency and integrity. It's like we actually try and show people what that looks like. Like we show them the reports we run. We are happy to give them access to any part of our business that they want. We do everything to communicate that, like, you know, verbally and visually. It's not just about talking the talk. You've got to be able to demonstrate it.
that's fantastic. And I know you work with, as I said before, some large businesses. I'm not going to mention their names, but some large businesses, and they don't suffer fools, particularly in the construction and the housing market that you're in.
Yeah.
So you're obviously doing something right. But I'm curious from your level of expertise, because you've been in the business for a long time. What would be one or two things that in the digital marketing space, where you guys kind of specialize in, where you say, hey, look, where do businesses go wrong? Like, what are the one or two tips that you'd be able to give businesses to say, hey, look, if you're reviewing your digital marketing,
Yeah.
this is the areas that I would suggest you have a look at improving. What would they be?
I don't know if this is really my area of expertise, but with anything, you have to go in with a clear plan. You've got to work with an agency that's going to do the groundwork for you, that's really going to identify who you're targeting, why you're targeting, what's going to give you the most value, and tell you the truth about what's going to work, whether it's, you know, it's something that you do socially or something you do with Google AdWords, and get them to review your website and how you're going to convert these customers, and listen to them. Like if they're the experts, listen to them. Like we've got a client, and like simple things like they didn't have a live chat on their website, and we're like, guys, here's the proof. Here's actually the data that talks about how this will help you convert something. You need to invest in that, because we're going to spend all your money and we're going to get those inquiries to you, but you're going to ruin it because the path to conversion is blocked. So talk to an agency that will look at your business holistically, not about just getting the leads to you, but it's going to help you understand how to convert those leads.
Yeah,
that would
great.
be.
And I think the one that I want to talk to you about Spread Love today in a minute, because that's an exciting initiative that you'd look at your face light up when I mention that. But, you know, and the one thing I know about you is that, and your business, is that you're not chasing money. I mean, you actually want to make a difference in people's lives, because there was a time about 18 months ago when you pitched to a customer and you figured out, you said to them, hey, look, I don't think you've got a marketing problem. I think you've got a sales problem. And you put them on to me. And then I've been working with them for over 12 months.
Yeah.
Whereas most marketing companies wouldn't do that. Most companies would just take their money, right?
Yep.
So where does that come from? Because that's unusual in itself.
It's a process, and a lot of it is knowing you and the conversations we've had, Martin. It's like, if you go into a business, the first thing you've got to identify is, can you help them? And if you can't help them, walk away, because otherwise it's going to turn to shit. They're going to be frustrated. You're going to get a bad reputation. It's not going to serve your business in any way to just try and grab some short-term cash. And the other thing, if you can identify what their problem is, the trust that builds in them, because they get that it's like, hey, you need to chat to this guy. This is where your issue is at the moment. So that's just part of, I suppose, having integrity around what you do.
Totally. Awesome. Now, Lou,
Yeah.
Spread Love today. I want to talk to you about this. You were talking about it late last year, and I've noticed that there's fence posts, there's There's power poles. There's bus shelters. There are your bench seats appearing in Melbourne with "Spread Love Today" written all over it. So tell me, Lou, what's happening? What was the thought behind Spread Love Today? What's the initiative all about, Lou?
So this comes down to company culture and values again, and through COVID and what's gone on in the last couple of years, like I have done everything to hold my team together and support them in different ways and all that sort of thing. And I was just listening to something one day and it said, it's like all this, these kindness projects and everything. It's like if you do one good thing for one person and just change their day in the slightest way, the ripple effect and what they will do for another person, etc., and how it makes them feel, how it makes the person that they've done something good feel, but also the people that witness that. And am I allowed to swear?
Go for it.
Okay. So with the fuckery that's gone on in the last 2 years, and it has ripped people's lives apart in so many different ways, it's like, what is the antidote to the fear and the hate? Well, it's bloody love, isn't it? It really is. Like, hate and fear can't exist while love does. So I just spoke to my team one day and I go, guys, I want you to step out of your comfort zone. I said, I want you to just do something, just one thing a day that just brings a smile to someone's face. And I said, because I knew it would affect them. They were stuck at home, homeschooling, trying to work, all that sort of thing. Anyway, they did it and I saw the impact it had on them. So then the Spread Love Today project, that was its birth. So then I said, hey guys, let's do this on a much bigger scale. So we created our own brand and we executed like our own little marketing plan around spreading love. And we created a website and we created beautiful stickers. We created beautiful downloadable messages and we just started putting stuff everywhere. And it was for no reason other than to try and spread some good stuff, try and just change where people were at on a bigger scale. So
very good. And just to be clear, and by the way, anyone listening in, if you've got a question for Lou or want to make a comment, just type in the chat box. But just to be clear and around Spread Love Today, this is completely altruistic. There's no sign-up fee. There's no membership. People don't have to pay a cent. It's just a matter of you having a values proposition, which is spread love today, rip through the hate and fear that's out there. So how do people engage with Spread Love Today, Lou? What if someone's on this listening or listening to it later on? How does someone get engaged in Spread Love Today?
Well, we've got a website, we've got an Instagram page, and we also have a heap of stickers that they're welcome to, and they're beautiful because they're inspired by, see the artwork behind me? Mm-hmm. That's my GM. She's also an artist, and her artwork, because it's so colorful and so beautiful, inspired the look and feel of the brand. So if you go to spreadlovetoday.com.au and it's spreadlove 2 and day.com.au, mm-hmm. there's a whole lot of stuff on there, and you're welcome to download anything you want. You don't have to sign up. Like, if you just want to do something beautiful, like put a beautiful background on your phone, create a desktop background, put some gorgeous stuff up on your social media, like there's social posts there ready to go. Just share some good messaging. It's just simply about creating some goodness. You feel better, people feel better, and it's just what we're all about. It's what I'm all about anyway.
And it's the one, absolutely. I've known you for a couple of years now. We've worked together for 18 months or so, and I know you as being a very heart-centered woman, and you love having fun. And so when you came out with this, it was just kind of this. That's Lou. Yeah, that's Lou in a nutshell, right? Just spread the love, baby. That's you.
Spread the love. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And you know what, to be honest with you, Martin, sometimes I think, oh my God, I really need to be a bit more business focused and all that sort of stuff. So thank God we have, some things in place around business planning. So, table, but business has got to be big. Business has got to give back. No matter how small or how big you are, there's always ways.
Oh, and when you're in business mode, you're very impressive. So you know, we've worked together, and we've worked together on pitches and a few different things. And you know,
Yeah.
when you're in the zone, holy cow, you're very powerful and focused. That's for sure. But it's good that you can rise up and have fun as well, right? Because that's what it's all about.
Hell yeah! You've got to have fun. There's got to be joy. But I'd love to talk about the impact that you've had on our business. And it's been a huge journey. And, you know, I've involved my whole team, and it doesn't matter if they work in admin, if they work in account management, if they're in the creative department, everyone has been involved in the process, because the language you learn to use, it impacts how you communicate. Like, it's actually impacted one of our key values in our business is we are the prize, because it really changes your mindset around who you are and who you will accept, and the type of language you use and what you're willing to tolerate, and the mindset from the business. And we can pull each other up on stuff, and it's created incredible processes and clarity around what we do, and it's made us very, very clear on who we will and who we won't accept as clients. Like, we're just not after everyone. Like, we're very specific about who we work with. And what I've learned from you, that's probably the key impact it has, apart from giving us great strategies around how to do that and how to communicate with with potential new clients. But it's like, yeah, we don't fetch rocks. Yeah, we really as clear about the clients that we'll bring on board as we are about team members that we'll bring on board. It's got to be a value proposition. It's got to be, are they a good fit? And, and secondary is, okay, they have to have budget like we are in business, but that is second. If they don't fit the first two criteria, it's just like, no, that's a big fat no from us, because it turns to shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful. And the one thing about your team is they were always engaged. Now, if you remember in the very first facilitation that we did, one of your team members, I won't mention his name, Marco, but, oh, sorry, Marco. But, when he said, I'm not in sales, and, I challenged him on that. But Marco stepped in, and he was happy to be held accountable. He did the work to a point where he was then able to do pitch, even though it wasn't his job, he was able to do pitches, help with pitches. And it all starts with having the framing of what language to use and not being scared.
But also, I think understanding that sales is not about selling to someone. It's about adding value to their business. It's like, what can we help? We've got to be in business. It's got to be a two-way street. How can we help you?
Absolutely.
It's a value proposition. It's not a like, ooh, let's do sales. That's scary. Give me your money.
That's it. And I completely agree with Poppy's sentiment. You've obviously got your wonderful GM listening in. You do rock, Lou. And it's been awesome fun working with you guys. But look, we've got about a minute left. So I'll just finish and say, hey, Lou, it's been great to have you on as a guest for today. So if someone wants to reach out and just have a conversation with the team at Kick & Co, how do they get in contact with you guys?
Well, we're all over social media. We've got our website, which is kickandco.com.au, has contact forms. Any way you want to, you can reach out directly to me. My email's louisa@kickandco.com.au. Whatever way suits you.
Great. Louisa@kickandco.com. Not often the GM gives you their email address right off the bat, but there you go, people. You've got Lou's number. And the one thing I can tell you is that Lou will lead from the heart, and as her team. So should you reach out, they'll guide you through a process, and if they can help you, they will. And sometimes it might not even cost you any. But also get involved in Spread Love Today. That's another wonderful initiative. So appreciate everyone listening in today, and I'll see you guys all next week. So from my sales heart to yours, remember, a sales fit business is a healthy business, and see you all next week.